Good morning, everyone. My name's Jack, as you may know. Today we're hosting a Microsoft Teams kind of essential webinar. So it's going to kind of include the basics of what you should be doing to make sure your Teams usage is efficient and as productive as possible. It's kind of just the agenda we'll be going through today. Obviously the Q&A session is at the end, but you can ask any questions at any time and they'll all be saved for the end. So don't worry about that. And me and Dan will take turns talking about different parts of this. Okay, I'll let Dan introduce himself first and then we'll crack on.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Dan Green. I am the Service Delivery Manager at Click IT. I'm here to go through some of the technical aspects of Teams and to make sure that the best practice is utilised at all points. As Jack discussed, we're going to be talking about communication and productivity tools that are built within Teams, and some of the things that Jack will be deep diving in are outlined in the bullet points that you can see on your screen.
So this one's basically about communicating effectively, and this is going to be just simple things that you can do in the chat with your colleagues compared to like group chats, and also scheduling meetings. You can do that through Outlook and Teams, and how their calendars link as well, which makes life incredibly easy for, well, definitely for me, but hopefully for you guys too. So obviously chat one-on-one, a lot of you will probably know this anyway. It's just simple, nice, easy, quick messaging. And you can also do stuff, essentially you could add reactions and then also create group chats for people, more than 2 people to chat, and I'll show this in the next video here. So obviously you can see a small little message exchange. In this video I made a mistake, so you can edit your messages to make them correct in case they're confusing. And I believe also as well, once that's fixed, you can react to the message here to just show you've understood it. You can even do it on your own messages if you want to, but I don't think you'd want to do that. So this one is kind of going to show you how to schedule a meeting with anyone, whether it be internal or external within like your organisation. Oh, I'll mute that quickly. So this one, you simply just select the time that you want the meeting. And then you can use your directory there to find who you want in the meeting, and if they're not in your directory you can just type out their email and it can also add them in. This will send them an invite over Teams and over Outlook, so they're all linked. You can also here you can kind of put notes in or just what the meeting's going to be about, as you can see here. And then obviously send it over. I like to categorize all of mine so you know what the meeting is just by looking at your calendar, whether it be an internal one, external, whether you're talking about a topic in particular. You can add all of that in your categories here, and then once you send it over, that's ready to go. And if we go on to the next one, you can see on here it's almost identical in our Outlook. Just doing the exact same thing, and then what will also happen, it will appear in your Teams calendar as well. So they're completely linked. So whether someone invites you to a meeting, this will come through both calendars. Very handy in my opinion. And then next, this one's more on the AI side. So if you have like a Copilot license as well, there's some simple things you can do just to make life a lot easier. So here you can see we're turning on captions. So this will be generated live. So for anyone in the meeting that may be obviously hard of hearing or they're having audio issues, they can still get captions. And I also we'll just go back quickly on that one. As you can turn on transcript. And this means at the end of the meeting, usually about 5 minutes after it ends, it will send you a message on Teams and it will have a complete rundown of what everyone has said in that meeting. And you can see this here, so it will come up as a normal chat, as if you've got a chat with anyone else. And you can have a look. Obviously this was a demo, so there's no transcript because no one said anything, but if you've got the Copilot license as well, these AI notes Brilliant.
Thank you, Jack. So I'm going to discuss the managing and the sharing of files within Teams. There are a few different ways you can do it. Microsoft do have guidelines, which we'll be more than happy to share after this call, where they provide you sort of best practice on how to use the file sharing functionality. Essentially, everybody wants to use Teams to be able to share data, very, very quickly, very, very easily, to be able to co-author with your colleagues in real time. But also there are certain caveats which you kind of need to be mindful of, just in case, you're using a specific set of data, such as NHS data. It may require that data to be used in that ecosystem and not taking data out of, say the NHS ecosystem, for example. And in that case, you would need a NHS email address, for example. But one of the main talking points will be the real-time co-authoring with Microsoft 365 apps. That allows you to, for instance, share a file within a group of you, and as long as you're using a business premium license, that includes the Microsoft 365 apps natively within that license, you will be able to open a file together, such as let's just say a spreadsheet or a PowerPoint presentation, and you'll be able to go through and amend, view, things of that nature. So Jack's got a video here of the sending and viewing of files. So I'm just going to talk through this. So this is a chat between Adele, Lee, and Isaiah. And in this, we send across some expenses, which we then take a look at. This would be an easy way to send a file to now I would need to get maybe Adele's expenses on this as well, so I would get her to put her expenses on that, and you can collaborate in real time. It is a good method of being able to work quickly and effectively. It's something we utilize very, very heavily internally here. So it's a real boost to productivity. If you're working through a spreadsheet, if you're working on a PowerPoint, a lot of this presentation was built collaboratively between myself, Jenny, and Jack, and it made it all very easy. We didn't have to book a meeting room. We could all do it, from the comfort of our own homes. One of the other talking points will be secure file permissions and sharing. Now, obviously, at the forefront of anything we do here, we try and keep security at its very core. We want to make sure that things are being shared out, but the risks, that they are going to the right people. Okay. Now, like with anything, with any technology, there is always a risk. If you share something to the wrong person, unfortunately that has been sent out to the wrong person. But there are ways where we can implement fail-safes within Teams that can stop that from happening. So we could potentially put a list of domains that you are able to send to without any worry of it going to anyone outside, that anyone outside those domains that we have set for you would not be able to open the information that you're sending in. We look at a permission on role-based access. All right. And essentially it's the same as with SharePoint. You would only give people access to the information that they need. So if you're building a Teams channel for, say, a HR group, okay, you would only invite people from HR to that. You would need to be very careful that you're not creating a public group, because with that, anyone can join that, and any data that you're putting in, if it's HR related, that could have confidential data in, that will be leaked out to other people within your organization, or any people that are external to your organization that may or may not get an invite. Okay, it is key to make sure that any invites to files or any Teams chats, are sent to people that and they are sent to the right person. Okay. In terms of Teams versus channels, channels are very, very good for if you have a SharePoint and you have a Teams channel that has some data in, it's very, very easy to sort of hook in and have good data, being able to share data easily. In Teams, it's basically chat and calling and meetings. You don't want to use Teams as a file storage system. Okay, that's not what Teams is built for. Teams is built for collaboration. Teams is built for communication. We would always say that if you want, to be able to have a channel where data is stored, we would always strongly advise to have move that over to SharePoint. Okay, it would be much easier. There's more retention policies and things of that nature that can provide security to that data. If you delete something from Teams, it deletes it from everyone. Okay, so data could be lost very, very easily on Teams. If I share something to Jack, for example, or Jenny, and I leave, that access to that data goes. Okay, they would no longer be able to use that because my account gets closed down. So it's very, very crucial that when you are starting to scope out your use of Teams for productivity, you utilize it in the right way. And if you do want a vault for large quantities of data, we can facilitate that, but we would strongly advise not using a Teams channel for that. Okay. Again, something that you probably all struggle with, I know I do, is managing notifications to avoid the overload. Okay, there are ways to snooze notifications. There are ways to make notifications sort of shut down for a small period of time, just so you can get your focus work done. I'm just going to go over a couple of videos here where I'm going to show you sort of how Teams groups and channels work. So Jack's going to fire up a video here, and we're going to go through to the left hand side there. You can see Teams, and you can see here that there's a lot of Teams channels on the left hand side there. You've got US sales and marketing, a project that's going on with Mark, there's a retail, and there's a digital initiative public group as well. Now, it's very easy to add, a post to these. Okay, if you are making an announcement, you can see here that Lee is currently making an announcement. He's changing colors, changing text. You can type a headline in, and it is easy to grab people's attention. So if you want someone to have some knowledge of what's up and coming, so in this instance, we're rolling out an update. We need to let everyone know in the sales and marketing team that we are rolling out an urgent update. Okay, you just put as much information as you need to within this post. Okay, you could put links in if you need to. If there's any further required reading, you can put as much or as little information as you want. But the key is to make sure that it's as communicative as you can be. Okay, or there's just no point using the channels here to make announcements. You can also do chat within here as well, and people can respond to any sort of updates that are put in. So people can respond to say that they understand. You can put polls in, so you can also say to people, look, when is a good time to do a lunch for the team, for example, and you can put a poll in. It's something that we've utilized here quite a lot. And also you can do approvals. Okay, so approvals is an app within Teams, and it allows you to highlight something, such as training. Let's just say there's a training session booked for a Friday, okay, and you would like to make sure that your team are all available to attend this training session. You can set an approval up, and then what people will do is you can make sure that they approve that they've read and digested the information within this approval announcement, so to speak. You can see there that Lee is also updating the team's chat there. He's just put, please let me know if there are any further issues. And here you can see Isaiah, the user, would like a group created. So what he's going to do is we're going to create a group with Isaiah, Adele, and Lee. And this is a little area where you can share files, chat freely, okay, have meetings with the people contained in that little bubble, okay? So in this instance, it's going to be Adele and Isaiah. You can also see if people are online. You may notice that next to the names along the top there, you can see Isaiah's obviously got a green tick because we're communicative, and that also appears in the left-hand side window pane. You can see there next to Isaiah, but Adele is currently offline, so she's not working today, for example. She will not appear, but she will still get every chat that is put onto this afterwards. You can rename a group. Okay, so I had the 2 people there, but I've just renamed it Expense Review. We're just talking, so I've told them that I've renamed it, and it is all logged. You can see that Ligu has changed the group name to Expense Review. So if people are, messing around with names or whatever. Oh, and here we go. We're going to open up a file, and this is an expense report. Again, you can use any sort of file, but this is just for the webinar here, and we're going to share it to the group. So you can, it's as simple as dragging and dropping. So you would go to where it's located, and you just drag and drop it into the Teams window there. Okay, and it's as simple as that. If you're sending links out, you can see there, so anyone with the link can edit. That is a by default value.
So obviously with Teams as well, you may find sometimes that you're very busy and you can't respond, where people can obviously reach you so quickly and easily. Sometimes you do need time to just crack on and work. So there's just some simple settings you can do and turn on, just to kind of almost not make yourself like invisible, but just to show people that you're cracking on with something else and you're too busy right now to respond to them, so they don't think you're just ignoring them. This first one is really, really simple here. This is just on Windows 11, by the way, so if you have Windows 10, you won't be able to do this. But it's as simple as going into the bottom corner and pressing the bell down here and then clicking that button there. That will just silence all notifications. And then going on, I can show you how to do like a more detailed option. Like here, this one is kind of prioritizing messages, so well, not just prioritizing messages, but also showing you how to go on Do Not Disturb while in Teams, but then also setting a status message so people know that you're just not just ignoring them, you're working on something here. So here, obviously, this person, Isaiah, is working with Lee, and they're on Do Not Disturb. So if people message them and don't get a reply, they'll get a little pop-up that kind of says this person is working with Lee, and they will understand, obviously, they're very busy. So that's why they're not responding. They're not just ignoring me, or they're not pretending to be at work and stuff like that. And you can set, obviously, how long these status messages last. And then, obviously, say you finish early, you can just reset your status there and then delete the status message as well.
So yeah, here we go. So one of the things I really wanted to mention was the 2 bottom points. So you are able to enhance your productivity within Teams using third-party apps and tabs. So you can have something called, let's just say we use something that is a seat booking program, and we have it integrated into our teams, so all of our team members can book their desks when they come into the office, and you can go in and get stats on that, and it is a focal point where it's within Teams, so you don't have to go to another website to book in. It links in, and there's a lot of apps where you can get it hooked in to your Teams to provide you with enhanced productivity. You don't have to leave this little ecosystem that you're working with to keep going to different websites or purchasing different apps. A lot of the apps within Teams are native to the Microsoft Store, so they are free of charge. Okay, if you are already using, let's just say, Adobe. There's an Adobe app within here. There's quite a few different apps that you can use. I know To Do, you can also hook in, so it'll give you all your tasks in your Teams app as well, so that you're not having to keep going to different areas, because that can get a little bit overwhelming as well. Getting notifications for different apps, and it's kind of like, well, if you can have them all in one place, why wouldn't you? And that is something that you can really use to enhance your productivity within Teams. It's very, very helpful. And the last thing I wanted to touch on was telephony. Okay, Teams is not only just for chat or internal meetings. You are able to use it as a base to make national, international calls and receive calls. Okay, this is an offering that we at Click are starting to roll out to our customers, but it comes with a whole host of features, such as call recording, analytics. It comes with the functionality to be able to make sure that if you have a team of people who need to take calls, you can make it so that people, the call queues are structured in a way where people don't get overloaded with a call, so it doesn't go to everyone. It goes to sort of one person. Okay, after a minute, it goes to another person. You can structure it in a way where people won't get deluged with calls. Okay, it is a very easy integration. People that use Office 365 we find that they use the chat functionality within Teams as a standard. Hopefully some of the things that we've covered today will allow you to go away and maybe ask, are we using it the best way? Is there more we could do? And if that is the case, then you can reach out to Jack and he'll have all the information that you need. But we would strongly suggest that if you have a separate telephony system, that you could get it all encompassing in one ecosystem, and that would really save you a headache of having to go to, say, multiple websites or have multiple apps or anything like that.
Thank you all very much for joining us today.
Thank you all for turning up today. We really appreciate it. If you have any other questions or anything that we missed, please reach out to us.